people, I'm back again. Just waiting for the notification to come through from Facebook to show me that you guys can see me. Okay, so I'm back. Mahailah was still on the phone. First she was told, ring back again tomorrow. Right? Now she's being told she's been rejected and she's not allowed to pay rent. This is part 2 of the video I just did before. Right? I am absolutely livid. So, please call Senator Ann Ruston's office and Services Australia. I want everybody here to ring them, right? Pay Mahailah's rent. Pay Mahailah's rent. They're not allowing her to pay rent. She's been living in that house for 2 years nearly, right? And she's been able to pay her rent fine, but because she's gone on to a periodic lease, she's no longer allowed to pay rent. Right? This is not fair. This is cruel. They're also telling her that no one's put in the application. 6 weeks she's been going through this. 6 weeks she's been uploading the documents, being told, no, they're out of date, when the date has got like a week on it until it's due. Right? Being blatantly lied to by people on the phone. 6 weeks. Right? Being told yesterday, yes, it was approved. Trying to pay rent last night, declined. Tried to pay rent again this morning, declined. Now they reckon she didn't supply the paperwork. Pig's bum, she's had to wait for you guys to send her rent certificates to fill them in, to upload them. And you keep rejecting them. Right? They've rejected her application to pay rent. Everybody here. Hashtag pay Mahailah's rent. Right? Let's get this going. Ring the Senator's office. This is not good enough. A single mum with a 9-week-old baby, a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. How dare you make them homeless? Because if you don't let them pay rent, they will be. And WA's housing crisis is just as bad as Queensland and Victoria and the New South Wales coast. And how can Mahailah pay a hotel rent when the Indu card's banned at most hotels and motels? So you are deliberately putting a family at risk. This is financial abuse. You are putting a whole family at risk. Right? This is not good enough. This is not keeping women safe. This is not keeping children safe. But guess what? She can buy all the fucking alcohol she wants to buy, Anne. Because that's the only thing that's approved in her town. Right? Mahailah is spelled Mahailah. Sorry. Look, I'm sorry about the F-bomb, but seriously, when the only thing this woman can buy in her town on the card is alcohol. She can't buy food. She can't just hop on the bus. She can't go to the post office. She can't have a meal at the pub. And now she can't pay her damn rent. And she can't use the facilities at the community centre because she can't access cash. And she can't get cash out in her town anyway. And she has to transfer cash portions of her money to family members and friends in another town to go and do shopping and bring it to her because she doesn't drive. All right? Because like most people of her age bracket, they can't afford a car. They can't afford to, rent. This is just beyond stupid. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, you deny them to pay rent. And then the department goes, no one's going homeless. Well, of course they are, because they can't pay the rent. Because they're on a periodic lease, or they're share housing, right? Or the house, Sophie was renting a beautiful 3-bedroom Queenslander at Buxton. Beautiful house, $240 a week, affordable. But no, you wouldn't let them pay her rent. So she ends up having to leave the state because she can't rent anything in Bundaberg because, you know, she's on the Indu card, right? She had job opportunities in Bundaberg, had to give up all those. And she was pregnant when you put her all through this. It's funny, isn't it? You put 10 Tempest all through this making her homeless bullshit while she was pregnant, landing in a hospital several times at an at-risk pregnancy, right? And the only time you let Tempest pay some rent was because she ended up having a cesarean section and she needs somewhere to be. There's something sick with the people behind this cashless debit card. There's something sick with the people on the Services Australia cashless debit card board or whatever. Who denies a single mum with a 9-week-old, a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old the ability to pay rent? Who in good conscience knows that they will be evicted and there will be an eviction mark on their record, and then when this person tries to apply for a third opt-out, you will use it against them saying, but you can't manage money because you've been evicted from your house, of which Services Australia have caused the problem by denying this person the ability to pay rent, expecting her to say, I'll just use your cash portion. 20% is not enough to pay rent. Oh, use your $200 every 28 days. That's her money to use as she wishes. It's not supposed to be on bills. The money on the card is supposed to be able to pay bills. Right? Hashtag pay Mahailah's rent. This is not good enough, and now they've rejected it. I can't believe this. You know what I mean? This is just... I'm going to get off the phone. I'm going to ring Mahailah, right? Because she's absolutely beside herself at the moment. She's in my inbox and she's losing it, and it's understandable, right? I'm going to get on the phone and give her the support that I can from here. And then I'm going to get on the phone to other senators' offices and I'm going to start screaming the house down. And I suggest everybody here not only ring Ann Ruston's office, but ring every federal senator and make them aware of this. Oh, and go and remind Senator Rex Patrick that the majority of private rentals do not accept BPay and they do not accept Centacare, right? And most private rentals expect their rent direct debited from your account to their account on rent day, right? Or you pull the money out of your own bank account and you walk into their bank and pay it in cash over the counter with a deposit book, okay? Because there's a lot of people still using that sort of system for rents. So please remind these people that Centapay and BPay are not always an option, but it doesn't help when the department has your rent allowance at $0 and gives you no allowance to pay rent. So ring every senator, every Labor senator, every Green senator, every Liberal senator. Wake these people up, because we've got a housing crisis and Indu cards are impacting people and making them more vulnerable of being at risk of being homeless, right? And more vulnerable of not being able to get back into the housing market because they're denied because they're on the card. And owners and banks are already onto the fact that people on the card, the mortgages are paid late. So this is not good enough. We have to start something here. Now they're saying, try again tomorrow. It's in the process, may have to wait another 48 hours. So they can't make up their minds. 1 minute it was approved last night after 6 weeks of stuffing around. Then it was declined this morning. Then it was rejected not 5 minutes ago. I'm in real time messages with this lady right now. That's what the dings are you can hear, okay? So in the past couple of minutes that I've been doing this, they've gone from approved yesterday, declined twice, to being rejected, to now, oh, try again tomorrow. It's in the process, has to wait up until 48 hours. That is bullshit. She's been paying the rent properly on this property for 2 years until they did this. Why? Why, Ann Ruston? Why are you doing this to this woman? It's a flick of a switch. Last night she was promised they might make a one-off payment when she asked about paying up the arrears. Right? So at the moment, she's not too far behind because the generosity of Donna from the National Homeless Collective paid up the 4 weeks that she was behind before. And she's managed to scrape up all of her cash to keep just on top of this. Just. Right? But it's not the point. So she asked, will she be able to pay the arrears? Because at the moment she's about a week behind because she hasn't got enough cash. Right? oh, we might allow a one-off payment. What? We might allow a one-off payment. This is this woman's home. It was bad enough getting there and not being able to buy second-hand furniture because, you know, you can't get cash to buy off the Facebook buy, sell and swap. Hard enough to rebuild a life, walking into an empty house and not have the ability to buy second-hand, fridge, buy second-hand furniture and beds really quickly because you don't have the cash. So you've got to do things one item at a time, brand new, or beg as to why you need extra cash. You know, this is just ridiculous. She's gone through such a hard time on her own down there, and she is on her own, right? It's not good enough, right? It's not good enough at all. Cheryl, I don't know. Last time people helped with the rent, it was Donna from the National Homeless Collective. She's a registered charity, and they were able to connect, and she paid the rent direct to the landlord. I really can't get in the middle of this. I'm not a charity. I help where I can. I can do what I can. Right. Yeah. PM me, okay? Just send me a message in the message box and we'll sort something out if we have to. But this isn't good enough. This is Services Australia, and they are killing people. This is all it's doing, is rendering more and more people homeless. I'm so angry. I'm beyond angry, right? I just want to cry. I just want to cry. Hashtag pay Mahailah's rent. Right? And ring all those senators. And put a rocker up Services Australia's ass. This is not good enough. And this is not just for Mahailah. This is for Sophie. This is for Tempest. This is for the guys that had to move from... There's hundreds of people. Okay, this is for all those people that have been kicked out of housing because they weren't allowed to pay rent. This is for all the teenagers and all the young adolescents that can't pay their board at home or can't pay their personal debts back to their families, and they can't pay private debts and can't pay private bills. This is for all those people, okay, because this is a lot bigger than this. Right, yeah, the rent is the crux of this issue here, but she can't pay daycare. Right, because the majority of daycare centres don't take centre pay. They expect direct deposit or cash. Right? This is ridiculous. It's destroying lives, and it's destroying people mentally. It's breaking people mentally. Right? And like, I so many women on this card that I know that have ended up medicated because they can't handle the stress. This is government-sanctioned domestic abuse. Financial abuse, emotional abuse, psychological warfare on the poor, like the rest of its punitive system. Not good enough. And we're going to fight. We're going to keep fighting until they change things. We need to stop this card. And I hope people will get angry like I am and fight harder. If I was in Canberra right now, I'd be standing outside Parliament House. Right now, with that flag saying, pay Mahailah's rent, because this is ridiculous, right? Allow people like Sophie and all those others to be able to pay rent without getting reduced to zero every 6 months. Some people are getting this reduction to zero every 2 weeks, right? I mean, in what, half an hour? We've been informed that she was approved. It got declined twice, and then she gets informed that she hasn't uploaded the documents, which she has. And then she gets told she's rejected, and then she's been told try again tomorrow. But the process could take another 48 hours. And she's also told that no one's put the application in the whole 6 weeks that she's been going through all this shit. What the hell is going on? But somebody's getting paid really good money, good wages, to sit on the other end of that phone and stuff this lady's and her children's lives around. That person's getting really good money for their contract, right? While the government abuses the victim on the other end of the phone. How dare this government treat Australian citizens this way? Mums, kids, families, men as well. I'm not forgetting the boys out there, right? All right, but this seems to be more prevalent with single mums, especially those that have fled domestic violence. Okay, and those that are caring for disabled kids and those that are carers. Because they're the people I hear from the most, that are struggling the most, that don't seem to get through. You know what I mean? Yes, I have one guy stuck in air living in a tent. Right? But where he lives, in the caravan park, takes B-pay. So he's okay in that respect. He can use B-pay to pay his rent. But not everybody takes B-pay. Well, why should he be living in a tent in the first place? Because he couldn't pay rent in Bundaberg under the living, and he's had to split his whole family up. Because this is just ridiculous. What they're doing to people. It's just getting beyond a joke. Anyway, I'm going to go, because I'm going to ring Mahailah now, and I'm going to see, and give her the, thanks guys, hashtag pay Mahailah's rent. Alright. Kelly says getting her autonomy back after escaping DV meant so much. It took me 3 years to get my financial autonomy back, and it took me a decade before I actually got myself back again, right, from all the abuse I went through. And there's no way. This is why I fight so hard, because how dare a government come and take that away again? Who the hell do they think they are? Anyway, I'm out. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.